From Boston, Massachusetts, to Adelaide, Australia, and everywhere in between. Talking local and national sports and just about anything discussed in a tavern. Broadcasting from South Lyon, Michigan. Welcome to Easy Speak at Speakeasy 330 with your hosts, Rich and Tom.
Gentlemen.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello. Hey, welcome to episode number 52. So, it's Andrew, it's been 1 year since this podcast has launched. Tom?
Oh, hell yeah. Congrats.
Congratulations on the 1 year. Obviously, it's not a direct anniversary because I think that was on the 23rd is when we did that one. But, it's come a long way from just two guys sitting in front of a microphone. Uploading it to Anchor, to now doing a live feed, and
with our porn music.
we get personalities here and there and stuff like that. So we already got a comment. The Ohio State guy, air boy. So
here to stay.
Yeah. So it's been pretty slow the last couple of weeks when it comes to sports because the NHL's taken a pause because of the spike in the COVID cases. The NFL has been still going strong. However, they've had to make a lot of changes to scheduling, and which I'm kind of pissed off about because if you guys remember when the season, like before the season started, that if any team was in violation of the thing, and they were unable to play, they were just going to either field the team or you forfeit that game and it's a loss. No, they made a lot of exceptions back and forth about that. So,
did you ever think you'd see games on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday?
Nope.
Last year when what was it, the Ravens and Steelers, they played like on a a Wednesday at like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. It just
they played a real it was like a 4 o'clock game. They moved it up because it was supposed to be like a 7. They moved it up to a 4, and then they had another game right after that. So so between that, I mean, COVID's really taking us down right now in the sporting world. So we've lost a number of bowl games to COVID. We've had some replacement teams come in. Kudos to Rutgers for stepping up. They wanted that paycheck. They're going to get rolled. I mean, let's call it what it is. But you know what? When they needed somebody to come in and play.
But that'll be good for Rutgers.
It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
And they'll get some visibility.
Wake Forest puts up like 70 points a game, but they don't play defense though.
No.
So if Rutgers can hang offensively,
could use it. They could use it to their advantage. They'll get some visibility, and
if any program could.
Yeah. One of the pre-show conversations that we have is we're talking about all of these players that are opting out of these bowl games, and I think we kind of got between the three of us, we kind of got like a mixed view on it. I think we're all in favor of it's kind of bullshit that the players are coming out, and just not playing. But then we also do realize we see from the other side is it's a business.
Millions of dollars.
College sports is a business now. It's no longer I'm going to go to college and then I'm going to make my way to the NFL. It's I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get my scholarship. I'm going to get paid. And I'm going to get paid if I do well. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of that. I think the name, image, and likeness. This is the first full year of that.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen is we're going to see the demise of college athletics.
Well, for me, my thing, if you're playing in downtown Detroit at the Hot and Ready Bowl, and you're, a mid to late first round prospect, and
then play.
Go ahead and sit out. I don't have a problem with that. But
if you're in the Rose Bowl,
but it's the Rose Bowl. I mean, the Rose Bowl doesn't, like you said earlier, Andrew.
It
doesn't have
luster.
It doesn't have the luster it used to, but it's
not
still
what it used
the Rose Bowl, and millions and millions of people will be watching, and You're playing a team that, you know what, they frog stomped Oregon back to back.
No,
And
absolutely.
that would be a good measuring stick for them to see, you know, has Ohio State fallen? But I don't agree with it.
It's going to be a good measuring stick for Ohio State to see who they have in their underclassmen coming up. Next. You know, the next man up mentality.
Yeah. Well, it's on the thing about it. Like, where's Ohio State? Where's your head going to be? Because you got stomped by Michigan. You've been off for about what seems like forever, and now you got to go play a game. So, like, where's your head going to be? Like, I mean, is Ohio State even going to be are they? You know, like.
How do you get them ready to play?
Yeah, because there's two things that, I mean, obviously beat Michigan and play for a national title. And he didn't do either this year. So, I mean, I don't know what Ohio State team's going to show up.
I mean, they've proven in previous years that the next man up mentality has worked pretty well for them.
Yeah.
So you got to believe.
Michigan fans have seen it firsthand.
Yeah, you've got to believe that they will be able to field a competitive team. It may be better with some of these newer guys.
These kids gone,
on the field. But if you think about it, you know, you got Olave and Wilson that aren't playing. That's 2/3 of your receiver core. That's
a lot
to
of
me the best
lost.
in the country.
Yeah.
So they're going to rely heavy on their run game, and you know, Stroud's going to really have to find a new way because
he won't have to worry about the snow.
No, they wanted to do that.
Yeah, but, I mean, so Andrew, you're the Ohio State fan. Do you think that Stroud is going to play a complete game, or do you think he might play the first quarter then be it?
I think he's a Southern California kid getting to play in the Rose Bowl.
He's going to play. He'll play in the whole game.
I think he'll play. Now, obviously, if he goes out and throws 4 picks right away and we're down early, then I can see you switching it up. But I mean, I think if he's hitting stride, because I mean, I've seen CJ look really good at times this year, and then he's looked really bad. But if he's going out there and he's making smart plays and getting touchdowns, I think he'll play the whole game. I want him to play the whole game.
I think for the sake that he's going to be playing with some kids that he hasn't played with all season. So he's going to want to get some kind of a chemistry going into next season to see what he's working with. And I think for that aspect, I do see him playing the majority of the game, unless they're getting beat or they're doing the beating. And so,
I mean, if we're, I don't see us really blowing out Utah, but if we're up big at halftime, maybe pull them out. I could see that. Give some other guys some chances. I would have liked to have seen that Quinn Ewers kid play, but he got his paycheck and then
What is it with Texas? What is it with Texas that these kids?
Well, he's a Texas.
They leave. They go to the portal and end up in Texas. Michigan lost a couple receivers to Texas. I mean, to me, Texas is just a graveyard anymore. It's not the program it used to be.
But right now, there's a lot of money in boosters that could be influencing.
Yeah, these kids.
These Texas kids, these homegrown Texas kids growing up, they always want to play for the Longhorns.
True.
Yeah, but Texas is. I mean, there's like programs around the country, and there's a handful of them. Texas is one, USC is one, Miami is one. I'll say Florida State, Florida, and Miami. Fuck, these programs should be the top teams every year. I mean, look what they can recruit. Look at their backyards.
Yeah.
Freaking Texas has been, like you said, just awful. They gave up 58 to Kansas. That'd be like giving up 58 to Rutgers. It's just you just don't do it.
You just don't do it.
No. So I mean, he's a good kid. He played 2 snaps this year, but he didn't want to sit.
So that the Rose Bowl right now, the Ohio State's favored by 5.
Oh, I haven't even looked at the line.
The consensus pick, which basically is like the fans pick, they've got Utah by 5. The over/under is 64.
They're probably trying to balance out the money. That's what
That's exactly what it is.
You know, these betting sites, they don't want to lose their ass on that.
I mean, I think there would still be more Utah fans than Ohio State fans, anyways, because Utah to California is not that far.
And then the Utah's quarterback, you know, he's born and raised in Pasadena, so you know he's going to have some extra juice in the tank to play for that game.
Well, not only that, though, Ohio State doesn't look like they're traveling very well to Pasadena. The reports say they had, out of the 20,000 ticket allotments, they've sent 7,000 back because they just
I'll go.
They don't have any. Hey,
so
go. Nobody's stopping
you. Right now on Vivid Seats, you can go to the Rose Bowl for $104.
Did you ever think you'd see a Rose Bowl ticket that cheap ever?
No.
And I mean, talking about like, because the Rose Bowl is kind of like Michigan Stadium. It's just one big bowl. You know what I mean? And so I got to believe, like in the past, even like a cheap ass seat all the way at the top was probably.
Yeah, you can go to the Orange Bowl right now for just under $200.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you know what? That Orange Bowl, those tickets came out for the Orange Bowl, they were going for like $600-700.
Yeah, I mean, the range is $193 all the way up to $15,698.
You guys should go.
I'm straight.
No, I'm out. Bye.
You know what? In my old age of 42, I've become very fond of. I like the announcers, and I go more for comfort, not for.
Oh yeah.
You know,
like you like your nameplate right here.
Yeah,
right where I'm at. You like your seat.
I have a dedicated seat. I don't have to wait in line for the restroom.
Exactly.
Those are the.
I remember the first ever Ohio State game I went to. Like I went down to get like a beer and something to eat, and I missed probably I left at halftime from my seat, and got back to my seat with maybe about 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Just these lines these days are outrageous.
All right. Well, hey, we can if you want. Drew, you can leave out on the 31st at 6:30 a.m. nonstop, $270.
It's not bad. I mean, I'm good. I'll watch. I'll watch it from the comfort of my recliner in my living room.
What's Tom doing with his light?
I don't think he knows.
Yeah, I don't think he knows either.
He's having light issues.
He's all fucked up. He's frozen.
No, but my dad's like the biggest Michigan fan I know, and even he doesn't like going to the games anymore. It's not even like,
can't see it, Drew. There you go.
Oh, you're sitting on bleachers, so it's not comfortable anyways.
Yeah.
Waiting in line it's just like Lions games. You're waiting in line for a beer. You're waiting in line for the bathroom. And before you know it, half the quarter's gone by and you've missed it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing is, but you know what though? It's one of those things, our buddy, Hesty, he's been to the Rose Bowl when, Wisconsin went. He said it was probably one of the best trips. He went with his dad, who's an alum of Wisconsin. So, for them to go, he said it was one of those trips that.
Well, yeah.
It kind of stings when you hit the wallet, but at the end of the day, it's always a memory that you'll have. And plus, you got to enjoy it with his whole family.
It's iconic. It's an iconic venue, like you said, and it's like the pageantry with the parade and the history, and it's the only game on at that point. So I mean, it's huge. So
I'm just hoping.
I still think it's going to be a good game.
I'm just hoping like how it plays. That's all I'm worried about right now.
Yeah, I think the NCAA is. I know with Georgia, Michigan, Georgia claims that they're 97% vaccinated, and Michigan's 100% vaccinated, but they're right to the hotel. They're not allowed to do anything. They're basically isolating themselves so they can get to this game.
Well, if you want the game to happen, you got to have self-discipline. You know, you got to mask up when you got to mask up. As much as it sucks, just if you want to play, especially in the playoff, those are the sacrifices you got to make.
And you're gonna see the height of discipline with being in Miami. These
imagine
18,
being
19,
like an
20-year-old kids in Miami.
And
being, hey man, you can't leave the hotel. Oh man.
Well, I'm going to South Beach.
I'm gonna have a fake ID, but
you have a whole other issue to worry about.
And you're in trouble. And as a Michigan fan and as the Michigan program, you want Georgia at full strength. You don't want Paul Feinbaum to go on ESPN and say, well, they beat Georgia because, they didn't earn it. Fuck that old man. But
he's going to say that regardless.
I mean, and it's funny because I was watching his show right before we went on, and just listening to him and listening to some of the folks that were calling into the show. Like the one guy, he was dogging Hutchinson for being there. Granted, between the three of us, we can sit here and confidently say, was Aiden Hutchinson going to win it? No, he wasn't going to win it. Was it nice for him to be in that top three and being there? Absolutely, for sure.
Well, yeah.
As a defensive player to make it into the final.
Exactly. And that's what it is. It's the defensive, being a defensive player, being there is great. This guy gets on there and he's going on and he's talking about Will Anderson, about he played better than him. Guy, you have to understand it's two different positions. He had more. Any guys that he had more tackles than him. He did more of this. It's like, well, let me tell you something.
He's a linebacker.
He should have more tackles because he's a linebacker. That's for damn sure. But
could he get 4 sacks against Ohio State in the biggest game of the year? Would he be able to do that?
Yeah,
not in that weather.
No, and it's just and that's the thing is, and there's been conversations that I've had with a multitude of people I know that are SEC folks and everything like that. And there's nothing. I got nothing against them. Hey, SEC is a great conference for college football. The standard is SEC. Everybody wants to be on that standard. Sure. The closest Big Ten team that's to that standard is Ohio State. That is the team that is.
At what point do you start looking at the Big Ten East and say, "This is pretty good"? The pretty good.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is I want to see them come up in November and play a Michigan and Ohio State. I want them to come up outside in the elements in a blizzard.
In the snow.
Yeah.
Instead of scheduling like Belmont or Georgia State, in early November, come up to Michigan. Yeah. Come up to
go to Madison. Go to Madison.
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
go to Madison. Go to Madison in November and see. Let's put them to the test. And I get they're victimized by where they're at. Geographically,
geographical location. Yeah,
but still, weather has to play a factor. Weather,
sure.
Outdoor
and that's why
games,
Big Ten schools recruit the way they do, because they have to recruit for the weather situation.
Outdoor games up here late season are way different than anywhere else in the country.
Perfect example. The Michigan-Ohio State game, weather was huge. Michigan State game, weather was huge. And it was a deciding factor.
The Big Ten championship games would look different, but they're played indoors, so
yeah, right.
But it's just like it's like an NFL playoff team going to Lambeau and playing a playoff game against the Packers in frickin'
I think
January.
Tampa Bay did pretty good last year.
Yeah, I think the NFL's different.
Yeah, I would. Not only that, Brady's used to playing in that shit too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
New England.
But yeah. So that was going on. Yeah, and Paul Feinbaum, I think we can all agree that
I hate him.
He sucks.
He's the Mike Valeni of SEC football.
Yeah, he's terrible. Yeah. So the NFL this past weekend, our team, the Lions, unfortunately. Hey, but you know what though? I'll give him credit. I'll give credit.
Hey, they're competitive.
He's got those guys playing. Those guys are absolutely playing. I was on Twitter, and I'm a victim of it as well. I've said, you know what, hey, this is great, we're winning games, but just do us a favor and keep losing so we can get that better draft pick. What he's doing right now is he is starting to cement the mentality within the locker room. Within the locker room, the culture of like, hey, look, guys, we're gonna play game in and game out, whether we win or lose. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna give them
fight.
We're gonna give them 60 minutes of hell, and that's what we're gonna give them. We're gonna give them 60 minutes of hell, day in and day out, and that's they're gonna regret coming in and stepping on the field with us. And I think that's great.
He's laying the groundwork, of a new culture, and he's building a confidence in a lot of these, third, fourth string players that, usually they're not going to see the field, but these guys are, they're playing, and they're playing significant minutes on the field, and they're impactful. They're making an impact. And
any great team, and it's very different what I'm about to say, but look at the Blackhawks when they went on their run. Remember how bad they used to be.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, but
they broke it all down. They started from the bottom, and
drafted, and they just built up. The Lions, but my problem with the Lions is, you got to change the culture. You got to do this, but at some point in a season, early in the season, you got to see. You got to get the wins.
Well, the thing is, you look at golf, came off a huge game, huge win, COVID. So now you're dealing with Tim Boyle, who, what was that, his second or third career start?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, he didn't lose the game except for that really bad throw at the end. He played well, but you can't expect a whole lot from these guys. And the fact that, they went down and frankly, they probably should have won that game, and they lost by 2 points. But, and I do think it's a test to what Dan Campbell is able to do.
I like
and
Dan
Aaron Glenn, even though our favorite radio guy in the afternoon here will tell you that they're playing for position next year. They're playing for jobs next year. That may be the case, but they're playing their ass off. And if they didn't care about the coach, they wouldn't be out there grinding.
Every snap in the NFL, you're always auditioning for another team. I think whether you know it or not, you're always auditioning because
QB1 who was at the game yesterday, he saw it firsthand, and I saw a stat not too long ago. Detroit has covered almost every single game. I think there's only been 2 or 3 games this season where they haven't covered the point spread. And how many of those games did they lose because of a last-minute field goal, or it was within 5 points?
And
that's a building block.
You're playing, when you're losing games like that, let's all sit here and think. Yeah, Justin Tucker, the best kicker in the league, hands down,
the only one that's
the best kicker in the league, goes and kicks a 66-yard field goal. What are you going to do? It's like, hey, should they have punted it? Should they have done this? Should they? There's a lot of what ifs.
Should have been over because of the play clock. But anyways, that's been put to bed a long time ago. But,
well, the Lions always get screwed by the refs. You know that.
But you look at these young players. The Amon St. Ra, he started the season super slow, and the fact that he's been elevated up to, frankly, their number 1, number 2 at times. He's getting that game experience where next year when you get
not having Hawkinson
back, I'm starting to think Hawkinson might be the second coming of Eric Ebron. He's just
I don't know.
I was a big fan of good old Hip, but he just I don't know. I don't see any passion in him whatsoever.
The Hawk.
Yeah, but you have to understand this. When teams can put 2 or 3 guys on him, he's not going to get the ball.
No.
He's not. It's going to be almost damn near impossible for him to get a ball thrown to him. And it's going to be impossible for him to catch
understand. But keep your head in the game. I don't know how many times I've seen him take stupid penalties downfield.
They all take stupid penalties. They all take stupid penalties.
I just want to see the Lions. Like, I mean, obviously we all want to see them. Like, I love these late season wins. It's better than going winless. I'm not bitching there, but I just want to.
Well, they've got 2 picks
win earlier in the year.
2 picks coming up in the first round in next year's draft. So whether it's Thibodeau or it's going to be Aiden, I mean, there's a difference maker that you're going to get up front on defense.
Do you keep Goff or do you get rid of him?
No, you keep Goff. You keep Goff.
The last couple of weeks that Goff has played, he's actually. I mean, his numbers.
His stats
played all right.
Are way higher than Stafford, and you saw what Stafford did yesterday.
Well, I'm not expecting him to throw 300 yards a game. I'm just expecting
he doesn't have to.
Passes. Exactly.
Yeah.
But hey, and they, you know what though, and that offensive line, they get Ragnow back. That offensive line is going to give them the run. That's going to give them the run game that they need. And they're proving it now because they've slotted what the hell is his name? God, what the hell is his name? They just signed him off the practice squad.
Reynolds.
Reynolds. Yeah,
Reynolds.
And
he came in the third preseason game. He got off the plane and he met most of the team in the huddle. They're like, "Oh, hi, my name's blah blah Reynolds," and he said, here."
I think the Lions finally found a kicker too.
That is a testament to advanced scouting too. I mean, I think the people are in place for the right position. But with the Lions, with their second pick, do you go and get a wide receiver? There's some good receivers in the draft. Do you go and get a wide receiver late first round?
Go get Kenneth Walker.
Primarily?
Well, I've looked. Well,
they don't need him. They don't need him. They have him.
Listen, it's going to be. They're going to get they're probably going to get the third. Right now, they're slated to get the 30th pick in the first round. So you take whoever you want at 30. And then you're going to have the first or second.
You get the first pick in the first round or in the second round.
Yeah, the second round. So
there's
either or. You can flip.
There's 3 positions. Those are 3 positions right there that you hope that you could slot them in for week 1.
Yeah.
I hope they go and they get they get an edge rusher.
I would love Hutchinson.
Yeah, either or. I think with your second first round pick, I would go after somebody. You need help in safety at safety. Go get that, or get your wide receiver. Then your next pick, get somebody back there. But yeah,
Jacksonville's on the clock, so Hutchinson might be bye. I mean, I don't know what Jacksonville needs, but I assume if Hutchinson's going 1,
Jacksonville needs offensive line help.
Yeah, that's
true. I think
Trevor Lawrence needs
help. If your all your eggs are in the Trevor Lawrence basket, you have to protect him. And I think when you look back at the Lions pick last year, Penei Sewell wasn't sexy. No,
but it's working out though.
But you look at what the potential is when what's his face on the left side come back and Decker, yeah, he came back and you slid Penei over, which Penei did okay on the left side, but you put Penei on the right side with Decker. I mean,
Decker and Ragnow.
When you do get Ragnow back, you got to believe that's gonna put dividends up in. But they didn't get the sexy pick, but sometimes it's okay. I mean, they would have been all right. I would have been no problem if they would have gotten Micah, but what he's doing in Dallas.
Parsons.
But that was a need. I mean, offensive line is a need, and we've talked about this before. It starts and ends in the trenches.
Now, you brought up Micah Parsons, which is a great example of the Lions.
He's such a stud right now.
We all know from being fans and everything like that, they weren't going to take him because of the speculation of the off-field issues, right. And the Lions are not one to go that route. You could have went and got what's his name? Was it Josh Gordon? Like you could have went and tried to sign Josh Gordon right after he cleared and came back. The Lions don't want any of that in their clubhouse. They don't want. They want.
They're not prepared. They don't have
Brown.
They don't have the clubhouse.
Antonio Brown.
But it also
everything
does
Antonio
go to
Brown.
show you that sometimes in theory, you don't want to take a linebacker that early, or in Cincinnati's case, you can't take Jamar Chase at that. They have way too many needs. Here's your offensive rookie of the year. So when you look at a lot of the naysayers this year, we're saying, well, I think an edge rusher at number one it's a bit of a stretch. I don't think you take an edge rusher at number one. You absolutely take the best player available.
But Hutchinson's there.
It just so happens that that's one of Detroit's biggest needs. Now you put him on the other end with Harris, number 53, who's been playing his ass off the last couple of weeks. That's a pretty solid defensive line that you potentially could have with either one of those picks.
I'm excited for the Lions next year. I mean, I like the culture that Dan Campbell.
Look for the Detroit Lions to be on HBO's Hard Knocks.
Could you imagine?
Season. You book it right here, December 20. What is it? 7th.
The entire.
You heard it here first, folks.
I think that'd be awesome.
How could you not promote MCDC doing that show? Oh man, how many times is he gonna cry? And watch him drink 15 pots of coffee a day. Oh man, that's gold. That's must-see TV right there.
Bite kneecaps.
Did you guys see? So yesterday, McNeil had a hell of a game.
Oh,
hell of a game.
Hell of a baseball player, that guy too.
Hey, and then so he had a hell of a game yesterday, and what happened? He got called this morning for a PED test, of course.
Oh no!
Yeah, so
who's that?
He's like McNeil,
the rookie. I think got him in the 3rd round last year. Elaine McNeil or something like that, number 54.
Yep.
Who played in the like the elite baseball travel league.
No shit.
In high school. Damn it, I forget. I think they play up at I've seen them play Perfect Game. It's called Perfect Game.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect Game. Yeah.
I mean, he was getting full ride baseball scholarships, but he said his true love was football. But
he's juicing.
he's and you look at what Ozarike, who came out of Washington, their defensive lineman that they drafted last year. I mean, there's a lot of good young talent Amani, who 2 weeks ago was the hero. Last week he was, this past Sunday he got hurt. So
yeah, I'm excited for the Lions.
You got Jacobs, Jerry Jacobs on the other side at corner, who is undrafted, and he's played big time. Minutes on the field and getting good experience. Rebuild, retool, whatever you want to call it.
But the foundation's
within
laid. The foundation's been laid.
But
now it's just
the NFC North is weighing 100% on what Aaron Rodgers does after this season.
No, for sure.
If Aaron Rodgers is not in Green Bay, which I speculate he will not be, I think he's going to be in Denver.
The Mile High.
The NFC North, anyone can win that. He's going to be in Denver because that's
not just
where his fiance.
I mean, I just want him to have success. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. But I mean, it's up in the air.
But right now, the Super Bowl I think goes through Green Bay.
Of course, and he's the MVP again, no question,
for sure. But I don't know. Dallas is looking pretty hot right now too. Their defense is unreal.
Yeah. Last night's game was a fluke. Their defense is strong, but I don't trust Dak Prescott. I don't trust. I don't know. Zeke's a bit over. They don't play Pollard enough. I think Zeke is a bit overrated, but they're inconsistent.
You don't trust Kellen Moore's play calling?
Hey,
I mean, he's a hell of a coach.
Washington.
They were talking about him as a hot coach candidate. He's not going anywhere because he's going to be the head coach of the Cowboys in 2 years when they fail in the playoffs, which they will, and they'll be sick and tired of.
That's
McCarthy. So
that's a hot take, huh?
Yeah, that's the hot take.
Tom's hot take, huh?
He's going to be in Dallas. He's going to be their head coach. In Dallas, that's what they do. Jerry Jones grooms guys, and why wouldn't you? Because you got Dak long term, and you got young receivers. So you'd want to have a coach that's comfortable with his offense, and why not?
Washington spent more energy punching each other on the bench than they did on the field.
Yeah, that was a waste of a game.
Those were two Alabama teammates as well.
Yeah.
Emotions get high. I mean, it happens. It's just like how many times did I want to punch somebody at work? It's just you're around these people so much
every day.
Yeah, and it takes its toll. And then when you're getting your ass handed to you inside and out, it makes it even worse.
So if you guys, just kind of switch topics here. I don't know what you guys wanted to talk about, but have you heard anything about the baseball lockout? Like, where's all that at?
They're talking.
Yeah,
they're talking. That's about the extent of anything going on.
Because you got spring? You got spring training in 2 months? Less than?
Pitchers, catchers will report the first week of February.
Yeah.
Time's ticking.
So you got a little bit of time, but it's going to be it's definitely going to be interesting because over the last couple of seasons, the owners have been when it comes to player contracts, they've been kind of trying to lowball it down. Now they're it's going to be a shallow game back and forth to see who's getting what money.
Yeah.
Well, a lockout isn't good for either side.
They're going to cry that they're broke. They can't afford it. Basically, let's put it this way: you have your diehard baseball fans. Diehard baseball. I'm a diehard baseball guy. Diehard baseball fans, and over the last couple of years, they're going through and they're systematically absolutely just killing baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you're killing baseball.
Rule changes
baseball.
And. Yes. You're starting to get the elitist baseball fans that are, why are you making changes? And you're kind of pissing off the wrong people. But I think, and I'm reading the story right now, and they're like, has there been any progress? In the first line was very little. But I think if you look at that statement here in 3 weeks, when reality is it's right around the corner. Then, we could be looking at a long-term lockout. But I do think,
they can't afford another lockout.
In my opinion,
not at all.
They're gonna have to realize that there's gonna have to be give and take on both sides, and baseball will not survive another lockout. In my opinion, attendance is already down because you have your
big time.
You have your teams that are going to win, and then you have the majority of the teams that don't have a snowball's chance in Hades that nobody really wants to go see. So the fact of the matter is it's Christmas right now, New Year's, there really hasn't been much progress, but within 2 weeks, I think you're really going to start to see it ramp up a little bit because there's still some free agents out there that teams are going to want to get their hands on. So who's going to be the first one to break?
Well, the thing about
that's
baseball,
what it comes down to.
See, baseball, I think more than any other sport, because baseball is primarily in the summertime, and people want to get out and about. They want to do stuff. It's summertime. It's nice. If your team is shitty, especially like in a big city, people aren't going to come watch it. They're going to go do other summertime stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
but on the same token,
I think
you can't have these teams that don't have a chance to win. Just to go to a ball game, a family of four, you're looking at $300, $400, $500, and
easily
the average family really can't afford that. So I think you have to look at the fans in that aspect. Like, okay, it's cool. You want to sign a guy for 10 years. What's the offshoot of that? How much are your tickets going to go up? What is concessions going to be? And sooner or later, you got a $35 million player at shortstop, and you got 12,000 people on a Wednesday or a Thursday night game in the middle of the summer, which isn't paying the bills.
Look at like my mom and I will go downtown. It'll just be the two of us, like parking in a lot in Detroit is.
Well, you should never pay to park. You just go to Harry's and it's free. So you should never pay to park to go to a Tiger game or a Lion game.
Hey, listen! Don't be giving away the secrets, okay?
That secret's long gone. That cat was out of the bag about 10 years ago. You just get there 2 hours before the puck drop or the tip off or whatever. You'll be fine.
You look at parking is astronomical. Tickets are astronomical. Even like a beer at a sporting event is what?
$12, $13.
And that's not even with food. You throw in a hot dog or a sausage, and that's $20-something bucks.
Andrew like those sausages, huh?
Well, I mean, it's just lower
$20 sausages.
That must be a real juicy sausage.
Just fucking lower concessions. I don't know. Shorten the season. I've always said baseball needs to shorten the season.
You know what?
Because if you have a shitty team, and like you're bad midway through the summer, then fuck you no shit things are gonna go down. So baseball needs to shorten their
baseball
season.
Needs a salary cap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball needs a salary cap.
Yep. The luxury tax doesn't do anything because the teams that are always over the luxury tax, they don't care about paying it.
Yeah,
the Yankees, Boston, the LA, the Dodgers, they don't care about they're over the luxury.
They need to go to that. They need to go to a salary cap. And what that salary cap do is they will and it's no disrespect to the Tampa Bay Rays, but they're always in it. They're the lowest payroll.
Yep.
And they're always
every year.
Even Oakland's normally in it too. And they have
no
payroll. They have no payroll.
Hey, here's this little nugget, another hot take. Word on the street is Oakland's getting ready to pack up and move to Las Vegas.
No shit.
Because Oakland's not. They want a new stadium, and Oakland's not going to help fund it.
Well, and also, where would you rather play? Granted, they were in Oakland for long ass time. They were in the Bay. Not for that, but where would you rather play, Oakland or fucking play on the Strip? I still say that's the best thing the Raiders did.
Dude, but I'll tell you right now, those games would be miserable.
Well, you'd have to play indoors. You'd have to play indoors. You could not play outside. It's like playing in Texas before the new stadium.
Too hot.
110. You can't play in those conditions.
No, but look at it from the fan. Oh
yeah.
Oh sure.
Look at like going to a Raiders game. Like if you're in Vegas for a week and you hit the Strip after, there's stuff to do. There's fan interest.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck wants to play in Oakland?
No,
they've been having.
It's a big city, and they're always going to compete with San Francisco. But if they lose the A's, what happens to the city of Oakland?
It goes.
They don't show for their team until they're in the playoffs. But still, how much of that is because that stadium is a fucking pile of shit. The sewers backing up in the dugouts and.
What's the closest professional Golden State?
No,
I would assume it's the closest team to them.
No, right across the San Francisco's right there. They're right across from each other.
Yeah, Oakland's right across the bay.
The Giants.
Golden Gate Bridge.
So let's get on.
I'm just saying.
Let's talk about Friday. Let's talk about Friday's game. What are our thoughts?
Ooh. Well, me personally, obviously,
playoffs?
Being a Michigan
playoffs,
being a Michigan homer, let's just put it that way. I personally want Michigan to win. However, I'm cautiously optimistic about it because Georgia does have a good defense. However, they were exposed by Alabama, but then again, it was Alabama. The key to Michigan winning that game is the defensive front needs to get pressure. It was shown that Alabama, when they got pressure, Stetson really wasn't effective.
He folds under pressure.
Will he play? Because he's in protocol right now.
Yeah. Well,
JT Daniels
is in protocol.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He's in protocol. So, real quick, we were talking about baseball. Nashville's begging for a Major League Baseball team. They could get you a stadium. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing them in Nashville.
That'd be
It'd
awesome.
be another reason to go to Nashville for me.
They've
I
got
don't
the
need
Predators.
I don't need
the
many.
Titans.
I don't need many, but
The Titans.
yeah.
Hey,
I think
the
biggest
you want to
problem.
talk about like a fun like fan road trip and put a professional baseball team in Nashville. But
they have
where
the
would you put
AAA
it?
team there.
Yeah.
I forget what the name is, but I think the problem with that would be where are you going to play? You know, Nashville is probably the most booming city in the country.
Yeah, where
not
would
a whole
you put
lot
the
of real
stadium?
estate available. So
They'd make it.
it
They'd
might
make
be
real estate.
it might be a situation where you got to bring down a lot of buildings to make that happen, because you absolutely do not want your stadium to not be right in the middle of things, and I think that's the downfall of where the Titans play. It's kind of off the beaten path. It's on the other side of the river, but from experience going to a Predator game,
I heard Predators games are awesome.
Coming out after the game, even going in before. I mean, there's not a better atmosphere pre-gaming on Broadway, and then after the game, you hit the bars. It's an awesome place to visit, and it would be an awesome place to play. But yeah, I mean, that would be awesome to have a Major League team.
I would love Nashville. Put them back. Give Montreal a team.
Quebec, I mean.
Back.
Well, hockey. There's talk about it.
No, bring back the Expos. All
right, so yeah, the big game. So
yep.
Like I said, for me, the key to that game is Michigan needs to make sure they're, Ajabo and Hutchinson constantly get pressure. By getting pressure that way, he's shown that he does have poor decision making.
Yep.
He
made a lot of errant throws.
Pressure. Yeah, he did, and that cost him the game.
Mm-hmm.
But then Michigan needs to stick with what they're good at, and they're good at running the ball.
What they've been doing.
Pound it.
They're good at running the ball. Don't go away from it, because once you start, once you start having to rely on the passing game, that's where I think where Georgia would have the edge on Michigan. But all in all, it's going to be a good game. I don't, people are saying that Georgia's going to blow them out, and I don't think that's going to be the case. I think
it's going to come down to who's got the ball last. I think that's an old cliche, but I think in this game, you look at them, they're about as evenly matched as any teams in the country right now. You have two teams that begins and ends on the defensive side of the ball. And Georgia, really, if you look at it, their offense isn't as strong as what Michigan potentially could be. And I think a lot of that is they didn't have a strong schedule this year. And I think that came into play when they did play Alabama, because they hadn't played anybody even remotely as close to them. So for me, it's the X factors, a lot like the Ohio State game. You're James Ross in the middle. You're going to have a defensive push on the both ends with Michigan. That middle of the field becomes very important. And he's, in the last couple of games, he's been right there making big plays. Brad Hawkins. These aren't big names, but they're going to make big plays when they have to. So you look at that. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Jason Green's buddy there, Eric All, he's the security blanket, that tight end who's got the potential to do what he did at Penn State. He took the ball, went 50 yards for a touchdown. So I think if you have that ability, that's your running game is going to benefit from that. And you're Michigan, I don't know if Cade has the potential to get into a shootout, and you don't ever want it to get to that point. So,
if you're Michigan,
the turnover game, who's going to protect the ball better? And I think when this game's all said and done, you look at the turnover ratio and then the final score, I think it'll tell a story.
If you're Michigan, take the ball first.
Yeah, get started first.
Yeah, you can get on that board. Take the momentum.
Take the ball first, and then I think Michigan has to score on their first couple possessions because, I mean, Georgia didn't look good against Alabama, but Georgia has shown the ability to strike. You know what I mean? But granted,
Michigan's biggest issues, probably coming into the Michigan State game was red zone offense. They get the ball into the red zone, and that's it. They rely on the field goal. And I think the same should be said with this game. If you get in the red zone, man, you got to score. You got to score. You can't rely on which the best kicker in the college in the country, which is a nice little thing to have. But when you're playing against Georgia, you're playing to dominate. You don't want it to be a typical college football playoff with Michigan State getting run out of the building and Ohio State getting run out of the building. You want to change that narrative for Big Ten football. And I think if Michigan goes in there and slaps them around a little bit, you know what? Some of that Big Ten East talk comes into play.
Change the narrative of the Big Ten versus the SEC. That's
what I'm saying.
Like a whole.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I don't agree with the fact that Michigan didn't move up. They did enough to get up to the number one spot. But to me, it's all about, do you really want to see Cincinnati play Alabama? I think it'd be more of a storyline to have Michigan play Cincinnati and then Georgia play Alabama, because you got North versus South.
They didn't want
that's what
that.
It comes down to.
They didn't want to
do
a
repeat. They didn't want that rematch.
Yeah.
So, and you can hear people, say they don't. They'll say one way or the other, but
there's enough on both sides.
They didn't want that rematch because what they want to do is they want a
rematch in the championship game.
Yes, I think that's exactly what they're going for.
Michigan needs to go in there and make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but I think that does a little bit of a disservice for them too, because for ratings purposes, whatever, the national championship game, if it's Alabama and Georgia, I already seen it. It would happen at the SEC.
That's true.
I'm done. I don't need to watch this. Good night. Shut off. You got Michigan.
That game happened.
All right.
That game happened a couple years ago, and the game went to 2 overtimes. Alabama won it. I remember that.
That was when Tua.
Yeah, that game was awesome.
Yeah, they put him in like the third quarter, and he threw 4 touchdowns. And what's QB1 saying here?
Are you guys giving Cincinnati a chance to beat Alabama?
Yes.
Really?
They have to survive the swarm, because Alabama's going to come out guns blazing, and if they can survive the first 2, maybe 3 possessions, keep it to maybe 10 points, and there's another situation where Cincinnati has to score touchdowns, and they do have a high-powered offense. So I mean, this game could go one of 2 ways. It's either going to be a blowout or we're going to be shocked. I really think that, because Fickle's going to have them ready to play. They have a very experienced quarterback who's very mature, and he's got the ability to run the ball when he has to. But they're defensively, which is Cincinnati's strong suit. I don't know if they can keep up with Alabama's firepower, but we'll see. I think the point spread says that Vegas doesn't really think that Alabama's going to walk all over them either. So it'll be interesting.
I can see that. Well, I know firsthand because, I mean, obviously we played them last season in the national title game. I mean, you can hang tough early, but you gotta play a full game with Alabama.
You have to, you got to play every down. You got to play every minute.
I mean,
so I'm going to write this down. So Drew, who do you got, Michigan or Georgia?
I'm torn because I'm a Big Ten guy. I'm a Northern guy. I got it. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I can't go with the Wolverines. You know that. I got to go with the Dogs.
All right. Tommy, what do you got?
Well, I think a couple of them Bulldog fans, I thought they were cute going into Ann Arbor and crossing off all the M's on campus the other day.
They stole that shit from us.
Yeah, I think Michigan's going to use that as maybe a little bit of little bit fuel, and I like Michigan in this game, and like I said earlier, it's going to come down to defense. I see a defensive score, but I can see a possible 27-24, 27-21 type of score. I don't think either team gets over 30, but you're going to get the best of the best both games, and they're both coming in healthy. But I do see Michigan pulling it out because, I mean, I believe in momentum. I believe they've got a team that is built to win right now, and they've got the
Michigan just feels they feel like a team of. Yeah, I don't. Not
you don't want to say destiny, but they've done everything that previous years they weren't able to do. They beat top rated teams. They went and won meaningful games on the road. They beat Ohio State. Unfortunately, they didn't beat Michigan State. But the games that they were supposed to lose, they won, significantly. So I think that tide has changed, and it keeps rolling into Friday night. And because I do believe that there's going to be a huge Michigan presence down in Miami.
See, part of
All
me.
Right. Go ahead.
Part of me does not. Part of me wants Georgia to win, but part of me doesn't want. I don't want to see a Georgia-Alabama national title game.
Mm-mm.
So I'm like, fuck. Unfortunately.
Put your bias aside, and you still like Georgia.
So you got Georgia. All right, Rose Bowl. We're going to talk about OSU. No, you've already picked Georgia. You're good. So Rose Bowl, OSU, Utah. Who you taking, Drew?
OHIO. I go with the Bucks all day long.
Tom,
even if half our team is going to stay back.
With the receivers not playing and the way Utah is coming into this game, who absolutely shut down Oregon in back-to-back games. And you saw what Oregon was able to do in Columbus, week 2 of the season. So they've got a high-powered offense, and Utah just absolutely shut the door on them. And like I said earlier, their quarterback, who literally got maybe 1 or 2 offers coming out of high school, who's born and raised in Pasadena, who dreamed of even just going to the Rose Bowl as a kid because he never was able to afford it. I think you're going to see him come in and have an absolute bomb game, and I think Utah goes in and wins. I like Utah 31-24.
All right, yeah, I got Utah as well on that one. I don't think that OSU is going to have the mojo that they need, not having their key guys in there, and I think it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. And it's going to be win or lose. It's still going to be good for OSU to really see what they have going into next year, and like we talked about a little bit earlier. All right, so Alabama and Cincinnati.
True.
I'm an Ohio guy.
You're on the clock, Drew.
I want Cincinnati to win, but roll Tide.
Ooh, roll Tide.
To me, it's like
too much firepower.
It's can they withstand the storm? Cincinnati's going to compete with them for the first maybe the first half, and then Alabama's going to come out of the second half, and if we know one thing Saban is very good at, he's good at making adjustments. You don't bet against him, and he's very good at making adjustments at halftime. So if Cincinnati is able to compete with them in the first half, you bet your ass that come the second half, that door is going to be closed. And I see like a 48-27. This game might get out of hand by the third quarter.
All right, so you're going to Alabama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I'm going Cincinnati. I'm going against the grain.
Oh, I like it.
I'll just say this: if Cincinnati pulls it off, it might be one of the biggest upsets in,
Playoff
college football history. I mean, why not?
It doesn't.
Why not?
It does. If anything, I mean, when you look at it, when it comes to a win-loss record, we'll revisit it, and then the next show after the new year. But neither one of us are going to. I could
If my
win, Drew
pick
could
doesn't
win, or
win,
you could win.
If my pick doesn't win for that game, I won't be disappointed. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
So cool.
That'll be fun.
All right. Well, hey, we're up against time right now. We got an hour in. So no, hey, Drew, thanks for taking the time to come on, talk some college football with us, and
thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, we'll have it again. We were supposed to have JP come on, but dinner was more important to him than coming on and talking about sports and Michigan football. So we'll try to catch up with him. We'll try to catch up with him after the new year.
I just think he needed some dinner and some downtime.
Yeah. So with that being said, and everything like that, in closing, I just want to say, Happy New Year to you, Drew. Probably
Happy New
unless
Year,
I see you on New Year's Eve.
You guys doing the game in the garage?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
right.
But if I don't get to see you, Happy New Year to you and everything like that.
Yeah, you guys have a good New Year. If I don't see you guys,
and we'll definitely you're gonna be on a little bit more on the podcast. We're gonna try to get some more of these remote setups going. I think they work out pretty well with my schedule and Tom's schedule, and we'll get JP going. We're still gonna do some in studio stuff, but yeah, we're gonna try to maybe the weekends will be in person, and during the week will be in separate studios per se.
Yeah.
But yeah,
keeping our distance.
That and I think after the first year, I do want to start incorporating some more people in there. I'd like to try to get QB1 to come on every now and then to talk some deep South football and other things like that. So we definitely got some things going to be planned, and we'd like to have you part of it, in the future.
Nice.
So again, thanks.
Down. Cool.
All
right,
be well and everything like that, and we'll chat.
All right,
See you, brother.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
See you guys
Later.
Later.
Take it easy.